holding letrufah, eternally yours, letter 333. Thanks to God, Sunday, the 10th of Tevis, 5601, rest of my dear beloved son. I just now received your letter along with the half silver ruble. May God repay your deed. You really uplifted me with what you wrote. That praise the living God, praise to the living God. Your son, my grandson, may he live, has shown a change for the better. May God finish his recovery completely. May you merit to raise him in ease and to rejoice over him along with your other children. May they live amidst good and pleasantness. May you raise them to torah, chuppah, and good deeds for many good years to come. May it be His will. I'm intending to set out tomorrow, God willing, on my journey to Ummah. May God, in His righteousness, guide me on the straight path. I rely on Him alone. Thank God we had worthy guests this past Shabbos, more than 10 of them. And thank God, through His great kindness, I spoke many words of truth. In His kindness, we rejoiced to the point that their hearts lifted up their feet, and they danced with joy over God and His salvation. How great are God's deeds and the miraculous kindnesses that He does with us all the time, particularly on His Shabbosos and festivals. What can I say? His kindness to us is great, and the truth of God is forever. You will hear a little about this from Reb David. Be sure to speak to him until he remembers everything that happened at each meal and what I said with his kindness, in particular at the third meal. It is necessary to review and to carefully recall these holy words of truth, for it is not for nothing that God is constantly bestowing His kindness upon me and allowing me to speak in praise of the greatness of the true tzaddik and the wonders of His holy and consummately awesome Torah teachings. Conversations and stories. My children and brothers, fortify yourselves with the utmost determination. Help each other, and let each one say to his brother, be strong. Remind and awaken one another. Help each other to remember God's kindness and wonders, to constantly give thanks for the past and to request over the future. Each one to remind his brother to strengthen himself anew every day in truly good desires and yearnings until he puts these desires into words and articulates them in all their details, pouring his heart out before God as a son before his father. No matter what happens to a person, he must never stop praying, for God hears the prayers of every mouth and He constantly desires your prayer too, as well as the prayers of even the most lowly people. It is necessary to remember today that your hearts, that you hear the pauper's plea and you listen to the cry of the poor man and save him. Listen to the advice of your father, my son. I know how difficult this matter is for you, but really, if you get into the habit of doing it, it will become very easy. The main thing is to put your own ideas and sophisticated notions aside and just nullify yourself, as if you know nothing at all and were just born today. You should say every time, today I will start to express myself before God. Constantly look to the truth and speak your words honestly, as I talked about extensively last Shabbos Chanukah. Review them over and over until you merit to fulfill them every day, and through this to come to great joy. I do not have time to write anymore. Your father praying for you and waiting for salvation. Nasan Aggressive, letter 334. Thanks to God, Monday Shmois, 5601 Teplik. My dear son, I received your letter just now before the morning prayers, and I'm in a rush to pray and to go to the mikveh. It was already time to pray when the messenger arrived here with your letter and the paper which I so long to see. I do not have to tell you the great joy and satisfaction that you brought me by quickly informing me of this, as you did, but it is impossible for me to write much now, since I am eager to pray. I stopped writing the letter and prayed the morning prayers. I have not yet put on my Rebbeinu tefillin, and I cannot write much now at all. God willing, I will write to you a more detailed letter from Uman, especially if God again presents me with a messenger going there specially. I am going to write a short letter now to Lvov. You wrote that I should write to Reb Chaim to caution him about how he writes his letters. My mind is not clear about it, so I can't write him now. I trust God that certainly no problem will arise through him, especially since Reb Yaakov Hertz is our friend as well. So now rejoice and be happy that you have such a large portion in something which is of such eternal benefit for the community. Come and look upon the work of God. His deeds are unfathomably and incalculably great. Who can utter the mighty deeds of God? The words of your father, who is in a great rush, riding hurriedly and in great joy, and waiting for many more similar acts of salvation, until his right hand makes the darkness pass from your eyes. Then everyone will see the miracles. Thus impressive, one brings to all our comrades with a great love. May God, who is good, guard us in His kindness and finish everything for the best. We can really and truly be happy. Letter 355, publisher's note. In this letter, Reb Nosson speaks about the first sample of folios from the printing of the Likutei Eitzos, which was sent to him from above. With thanks to God, Tuesday, Va'ero, 5601 Uman, come and look upon the works of God. To my brothers and comrades, and in particular to my friend, my love, heart, and soul, the illustrious descendant of the holy seed, the distinguished Rebbe Ber, may he live along with all his children. May they live, and to all our comrades, great and small alike, to all of you, I call for greetings and boundless best wishes with a great and mighty love. Look, see and be astonished. Who would believe our salvation, that we would merit this now, after all the troubles, tribulations, suffering, and relentless persecution which we have endured? And this is especially true of me, poor, impoverished man that I am, despicable in his own eyes, at whom they all gnash their teeth, and for whom even now they have not relinquished their hatred. Now, come you, God's blessed, and pay close attention. Look and see God's salvation, His kindness, and limitless wonders that we have merited now to see with our own eyes, a sample page engraved in a distant land of the awesome teachings of our master teacher and rebbe of blessed memory to meuman, and reveal truth and faith in the world. It's explained there in this Likutei Eitzos are all the good character traits and how to avoid all the bad ones, through amazing, awesome advice and enormous true encouragement which knows no limits or bounds. How great are God's deeds! If our mouths were filled with song as the sea, it would still be impossible to express. You've done great things, Lord my God. So now, receive them up amidst joy, this small page enclosed here. I received 2 pages like this from there. One I have kept for myself, and the first one I am sending to you, so that your eyes may see God's salvation, that your eyes see and your hearts rejoice. Just as God has begun to show His kindness and goodness to all Israel and to us, so may He finish for us. May we merit that this small volume be completed there in peace and tranquility, and that it circulate in the world. May the Rebbe's wellspring spread forth until we soon merit to start and to finish many more of the Rebbe's holy books, and those which flow from them, until real truth shines in the heart of every single Jew, and the holy promises which the Rebbe made in many different forms will quickly be fulfilled. I have finished and will finish, for we still need much salvation and compassion to finish all this and more, and to escape from all our enemies and pursuers. They will return to us, and not we to them. God is our salvation and our hope, that we will merit to rejoice in His salvation at all times. I ask you now not to publicize this matter to outsiders. Just keep it among our friends. Carefully hide away the page enclosed here, and caution anyone that you tell about this to keep it a secret and not reveal it to any outsiders. I am certain that they will realize this on their own. I trust in the goodness of your hearts and the hearts of those like you, that you will carry out my words on your own, and do even before hearing, by sending money both for my livelihood and for this holy project, which is for the benefit of the wider community for generations to come, forever and for all time. You should also know that when I arrived last week, I brought with me the oil which Rebbe Ephraim, may his light shine, sent from Odessa. Thank God that their atonement was burning at the holy gravesite even beforehand, and it is certainly burning all the time now. God is my hope. Thank God that their atonement was burning at the holy gravesite even beforehand, and it is certainly burning all the time now. God is my hope that this represents a sprouting of the seeds of salvation, that the Rebbe's light will never be extinguished. May this lamp bring about a sweetening of all the harsh judgments for you and for us, for the kindling of this holy flame of the Rebbe's on the Rebbe's holy gravesite has a very wondrous power to effect this. You understand for yourselves that you should urge all our comrades to donate something for this from time to time for his own household, as they did in the past. Here in our area too, I have resumed calling on our comrades to contribute to this. May salvation come from God, that the Rebbe's flame burn there always and never go out. May salvation come from God, that the Rebbe's flame burn there always and never go out. Likewise, may His holy spiritual light always shine, as He said in these holy words, my fire will burn. Likewise, may His holy spiritual light always shine, as He said in these holy words. Likewise, may His holy spiritual light always shine, as He said in these holy words. My fire will burn until the Mashiach. I do not have time to go on any longer. The words of your true, eternal friend, waiting for your answer and for you to quickly carry out all the above. May God give you success in all your endeavors, and may you gain ascendancy and honor. May you merit to walk in the Rebbe's holy pathways, in particular to say many prayers and supplications, and even more so, that each one of you should express himself before God every day and should strive always to be happy. Even more so that each one of you should express himself before God every day and should strive always to be happy. Let us be happy and rejoice over His salvation. Nelson of Breslov, letter 336, with thanks to God's Son, B'Shalach, 5601, greetings to my learned son, Rabbi Yitzchak, may he live along with all his family. With God's help, my illness has eased and I am recovering my strength little by little. May God in His compassion sustain me, and may He speedily give me complete recovery. May it be His will. I received your letter today, and while I was greatly pained that the project is encountering so many barriers, I was very pleased at least to receive some information about it. I hope to God that He will finish His work and that all will be well with God's help. He does not abandon, and He has not abandoned. He does not abandon, and He has not abandoned. I am certain that you will exert yourself there in the best way possible so as to have the merchandise leave there safely and get to the place where it is valuable. Salvation is in God's hands. You did not mention now in your letter whether or not you would be there, whether or not you would be here. I will wait for you here until Wednesday of this week. After that, I hope to God that He will give me the strength to travel to Rovitz. I do not have the strength to write anymore. You will hear everything from the deliverer of this letter, my grandson Nachman. May he live. He will tell you everything in person. The words of your father, nachman of blessed will be this to all our comrades. With a great love, in particular to my dear distinguished friend, the holy fruits of Nachman. May he live, the grandson of our pride and strength, our master, teacher, and rebbe of sainted memory. God knows that I pray for him that we should merit to recognize the power that he should merit to recognize the power and merits of his awesome grandfather, which is his good in this world and the next forever, nothing the same. 337 with God's help, Sunday, Yisrael, 5601, Uman, greetings to my dear beloved son, Rabbi Yitzchak, may he live, along with all his family, greetings and abundant salvation. I received your letter today and I was very pleased. I was really pleased. You get a double reward from heaven for working on this for the benefit of the wider community. May God continue to be with you, and may you merit to study, teach, guard, practice, and to fulfill everything that is written in them. In brackets, the books. Amen. May it be His will. Thank God I'm recovering my health with God's help, but I am not yet back to full strength. Salvation is in God's hands. May He quickly strengthen me for His name's sake. May He give me back my strength even more than before. Amen. May it be His will. Right now, my intention is to travel this week with God's salvation to Rovitz. When I return after this coming Shabbos, I will start my journey home. May God in His compassion give me the strength to travel and to arrive safely home. I have no one to lean on but our Father in heaven. Now I'm hoping to devise a way of sending the book there, and will be all will be in accordance with God's plan. I will not go on. The words of your Father, looking forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy us and bless of greetings to all our comrades with a great love. I do not know what Reb Nachman, may his light shine, did wrong that he should write me and apologize. To the contrary, I know he worked at this with all his heart and soul. Send him my greetings and tell him to pray to God that in His compassion He will enable him to be able to finish the business successfully, both from there to here and from here to there. Salvation is in God's hands. How great are the deeds of God, who abundantly bestows His miraculous kindness upon us at all times, that we still constantly do many acts of compassion and salvation. Because the work that man does in order to accomplish what he must in this passing world is something very, very great and profound indeed. Deep. Who can find it? How much more does this apply to the work for the wider community for generations to come? For the power of the elder of holiness is extremely great. He began and finished, and He will begin and will finish. Ashreinu. How fortunate we are to be engaged in this. Rejoice in God and exult over His miraculous kindnesses. Trust God, He will never abandon us. He does not abandon, and He has not abandoned. He does not abandon, and He has not abandoned. We can really and truly be happy. The words of your Father, we can really and truly be happy. We can really and truly be happy. The words of your Father, looking forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy. Nelson Oppressive, letter 338, with thanks to God, Wednesday, the 17th of Adar, 5601, Breslov, my dear beloved son, may he live. I received your letter on Friday, Erev Shabbos, along with the wine, and I was very pleased that it reminded me at that time about how Purim turns into Parah, the red heifer. Then I spoke with the aforementioned Reb Nassan about how much we must thank God that wonders such as these were revealed in this generation, so that awesome mysteries about how Purim is preparation for Pesach can be mentioned in such a short letter as this. It is truly one of God's miracles. A person must constantly remind himself anew of the great and miraculous kindness that God did with us through the rebbe, when he revealed in his kindness Torah teachings such as these. For God is indeed doing an awesome thing with us. There is no time now to go on about this, though. Subsequently, in pouring morning out prayer, before prayers, I received the money that you sent. May God repay your deed, along with your letter and the Mishloach Mano's Purim gifts. Yesterday, too, I heard a report that in Tulchin you were celebrating a great deal on Shushan Purim in spite of everything. And I was very pleased. Now, my son, fortify yourself determinedly to walk in the Rebbe's pathways. Constantly rejoice over God's salvation. Express yourself before Him every day, and then the rest of the day be happy. You are receiving a letter, and then the rest of the day be happy. You are receiving a letter, and then the rest of the day be happy. You are receiving a letter for Reb Chaim Katz. And then the rest of the day be happy. You are receiving a letter for Reb Chaim Katz, and inside it is a letter for Rebbe Ephraim MS. Send them immediately without delay with the first post. You may also add a little if you wish. It would indeed be appropriate for you to send him loving greetings too, and you should also ask him to kindly give me a clear answer right away, as I requested in my letter. I am certain that you will do everything in the best possible way, as it is most urgent that this letter arrive there quickly. May God grant salvation. May I quickly receive a response from there. May God, who is good, finish for me for the best. I do not have time to go on any longer. The words of your father waiting for salvation and praying for you. Nachman of Breslov. Nanach, nachman. Loving greetings to all our comrades. With thanks to God, Monday, Pekude, 5601, greetings to my beloved son, may he live. Text missing, ... I do not know what to write to you right now. Let me know if you sent on all the letters that I sent to you. Text missing, ... and you will hear the rest from the deliverer of this letter regarding an overcoat or hat for my son Nachman, may he live. Give me a clear response about everything. From all this you will understand. Give me a clear response about everything. From all this you will understand what is being done with every person in his youth, his childhood, and in his old age, both with regard to his many needs and with regard to his drawing close to God. For whatever may be happening to a person all the days of his life, from his childhood right up through his old age, he must see to it that he uses precisely that to come closer to God. A person is only distanced from God in order to cause him to draw closer to Him, and barriers exist only to increase desire. All suffering contains favors, and in all crookedness there is some fairness. In all strict judgments there is kindness, and in all the falls and spiritual declines there is God. All the conflicts in the world, on the global level and locally within each city, between neighbors and within every household, all of which are really one, as is explained in the Rebbe's teachings, all have peace hidden within them. Within bad times there are good times. The overall principle is that the whole world is full of His glory. God's kindness and goodness fill the world, and everything is for the good. There is no place where He is not present. But to know all this and to receive vitality and sustenance from it comes through the true tzaddik foundation of the world, who sustains the world is in. Were it not for the salt, the world cannot endure the bitterness. What can I give back to God for all the good He has bestowed upon me by allowing me to know all this clearly? It is extremely difficult, though, to convey all this to you the way it is in my heart. Nonetheless, the little of this that you do comprehend in your own way and according to your own understanding is highly beneficial for you and for every single person in this world and the next. For with it, a person can draw close and attach himself to God every day, at all times, and in any place at all. Through good or bad, God forbid, up or down, day or night, whether he is lying down or rising up, at home or in the marketplace, even if the person has absolutely no idea where he is, up, down, or what, and he's just wandering like a lost sheep, no matter what. From all these places he can remember that, thank God we believe in God, His servant Moshe, and the true tzaddikim in every generation, particularly in the true tzaddik who shines in this generation forever. Meuman. Fortify yourself, my son, and be strong. Know and believe that all this applies to you individually as well. Through everything that you experience every single day, believe that God is constantly doing new things, and that without a doubt your end will be a good one, together with all of us, with God's help, and with the help of His kindness and wondrous salvation. For His kindness is forever, His kindness to us has been abundant, and the truth of God stands forever. The words of your father writing hurriedly amidst pain and joy. Joy is implanted in my heart from one side, and God is my salvation and my hope, that the other side, which is the source of pain and sighing, God forbid, will turn into joy, as in the teaching, happiness and joy will take over. Nasan of Breslov, letter 340 with thanks to God, Wednesday, Pekuday, 5601 Breslov. My dear beloved son, I received your letter just now, and the bearer is extremely pressured to leave. I was pleased by how much you enjoy my letters, and really it is appropriate that you should. For the last letter which I sent you through Nachman was from God, who sent those words to my pen. I never even thought about them. They emanate from a number of holy lessons, which each one of us, according to his own place and time, needs very, very much. I just now remembered through reading your letter, blessed is he who causes forgotten things to be recalled, something that God recently sent to my heart. It is regarding an idea that is hinted at in the words of our rabbis of blessed memory, that hegdish, sanctified material, has only its own place and its own time. Has only its own place and its own time. The idea is that a person who wishes to walk on the straight path and to sanctify and purify himself, which is the concept of hegdish, that he wants to be sanctified to God, the purpose for which he was created. Such a person like hegdish has only his own place and his own time. He must look only at the present hour and moments and the place where he is right now. For at any time and in every place a person can remember God and draw himself close to him. I've spoken about this a great deal, but the awesome way that it is hinted at here was revealed only recently, and we need it very much. May God allow us to fulfill the words of our master, teacher, and rebbe of holy saints' memory at all times, to constantly look for and to find true advice and practices in his words, each one of us according to his own place and time. I do not have time to go on any longer. The words of your father praying for you, Nasan of Breslov, letter 341 with thanks to God, Wednesday, Vayikro 5601. My dear beloved son, you are receiving the letter enclosed here. May God in his compassion bring me and you to joy in the happiness of the approaching holy festival. May we merit to draw holy understanding upon ourselves and to convey it to our children and our children's children and to our friends and students. May each of them in turn illuminate his friends, and may we receive from one another to know that the Lord is God and there is none other. May we draw down the illumination of son and student, so we know at all times that the whole world is full of his glory, and may we thereby wake up from sleep and rise up and sing, you who dwell in the dust, for God is awake. He neither slumbers nor sleeps. He awakens the sleeping and rouses them from their slumber. He does not look at, and he could not care less about all the preoccupation with making more money. He does not look at, and he could not care less about all the preoccupation with making more money. Gods of silver and gold, abominations which God hates. Rather, his eyes are to the world's faithful, and he looks to the pauper, the discouraged, and to the one who fears his word. And even though we cannot understand why the wicked prosper and the righteous suffer, as the Tana said, we do not possess understanding of the well-being of the wicked or the suffering of the righteous. It is nonetheless fitting and good for a person to go over all this in his mind every day and to review it constantly with his friends. Fulfill. Do not be concerned if a man should grow rich, or if the honor of his house increases, for when he dies, he will take nothing along, and his honor will not go down with him. Remember the Mishnah, neither silver nor gold accompanies a man in his death, but Torah and good deeds alone. We should yearn for this with an intense desire to know every day, and we should make a practice of expressing ourselves before God by means of this, until after a truly broken heart we come to joy along the holy and truly straight. We come to joy along the holy and truly straight paths that we receive from the Rebbe of blessed memory. The words of your father, Nasan of Breslov, beware of grief and sighing. Just draw the grief and sighing into joy. Beware of grief and sighing. Just draw the grief and sighing into joy. Letter 342 with God's help, Sunday night, Sava 5601. My dear beloved son, I received your letter with a half silver ruble, and I really needed the money. You should also know that I am tremendously pressured right now. I am being pressed on all sides by creditors to repay debts, and I have many Pesach expenses every day. I therefore checked out all my possibilities, and I saw that it is necessary for you to lend me some money immediately. I am certain you will do as I ask right away. May God make us worthy of the joy of the holy festival. May God make us worthy of the joy of the holy festival. May He allow us to sanctify ourselves with the holiness of Pesach. May He allow us to sanctify ourselves with the holiness of Pesach, to go from chametz to ma'avavatzo, from death to life, from bad thoughts to good thoughts, from slavery to freedom, and from sorrow to joy. The words of your father, Nasan of Breslov, letter 343, with thanks to God, Sunday 56. My dear beloved son, I received your letter just now between the afternoon prayers and the evening prayers. Erev Pesach, and we must check the chametz right away. Therefore, I did not need to tell you you. Therefore, I do not need to tell you what hurry I am in. I also received the 2 gold coins worth of small change. And I thank you very, very much. I badly need the money right now, and particularly in those denominations. May God repay your debt. I received the slippers last week, and today I received the 2 containers of wine as well. May God allow me to drink the 4 cups of salvation and compassion. And may salvation, compassion, happiness and joy be drawn upon you and upon your household. As a result of the joy you brought me by sending me the wine, salvation is in God's hands. At the moment it is impossible to write much at all. Just fortify yourself mightily to be happy and to joyfully say the blessing. Shehechiyanu, who has given us life and brought us to this time, and that you merited to send me wine for the 4 cups, as well as the money. The trouble that you went to is not lost either, especially since you have a share in the efforts and money invested in the business that I am transacting, which will greatly benefit the larger community for generations. Ashrechu, my son, fortunate are you for every single good point that you merit to be involved in with your body and money. Just strengthen yourself with the utmost determination to put aside all your agitated musing. When you think everything over too much, it is all the result of downheartedness and depression. Raise up your eyes to heaven and ask God every day to release you from this. In the merit of the approaching holy festival of Pesach, may you merit to go from chametz, fermenting of the mind, to the holiness of the matzah of Pesach, and from sorrow to joy. You are receiving close to a letter full of love, and you should send it off quickly. I assume you would like to add your own loving greetings as would be appropriate. Let happiness and joy take over. Let happiness and joy take over the words of your father and us of rebbe, bezH, nanach, nachma, letter 344, with thanks to God, Wednesday, Isuchad Pesach, 61 breaths of greetings to my beard. Beloved son, may he live. I received your letter on holiest Pesach, and then enclosed letter from Rebbe Abele. May his light shine. I was pleased. I also received the note from you today, and I was happy with God's help. Be sure to do as you wrote and come here tomorrow, God willing, as I intend to stay here until after this coming Shabbos. Afterwards, I am planning to travel, God willing. May God guide me on paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Be sure to bring money with you, because I do not have a pruta, small coin in the house. Therefore, you will have to wait a little longer for what I owe you, and give me back what Rav Abba, may his light shine, sent. You can see from their letters that with God's help, you will be receiving more money. May the one who has taken care of me throughout my life sustain me honorably in His great compassion. We too were rejoicing yesterday, a few hours into the night, and I spoke many words of truth about the eternal goal, about how it is necessary to search for the eternal goal every day. The best way is to go out into the fields among the grasses, but if that is not possible, one should at least find a place for God in one's house. All our days are vanity, and all the pursuits of this world are nothing. A person will have nothing for his toil except the torah, prayer, and good deeds that he grabbed. The main thing is to search for the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of holiness of the true tzaddik. There's no time to go on about this right now. Perhaps God will have pity and enable us to speak about this face to face, so that we will have the merit to guard, to perform, to guard, to perform and to fulfill it, to guard, to perform and to fulfill it. The words of your father, Nathan, of rest of letter 345, with God's help, Thursday, the 23rd day of the numbering of the children of Israel, 601 uman. Greetings and life to my dear beloved son, the learned Rebbe Yitzchak. May his light shine along with all his family. May they live. You should know, my son, that I arrived here safely in Uman today. Thank God who has brought me thus far. Praise God. My feet did not become more swollen, God forbid, from the trip. To the contrary, it seems to me that they are starting to improve a little. May the Creator of cures have compassion, and may He quickly give me a complete recovery, and may it be His will I yearn all day long to receive soon. A good report from above. Salvation is in God's hands. Nearly half the days of this theater, the counting of the Omer, have passed already. May the giver of the Torah have compassion on us. May we merit from now on at least to prepare ourselves to receive the Torah anew on the approaching holy 50th day Shavuos, such that we may hey, guard, perform, and fulfill all the words of the Torah with love. I am too precious to go on the words of your Father, waiting for your true salvation. Lesson of best of Tetri 46. Letter 346 with God. Thanks to God. Friday, Pashas Devotion 56:1. My dear beloved son, I received your letter today. To the messenger, I already wrote you a letter yesterday and sent it. Yet. With the carriage driver with whom, thank God, I arrived here safely yesterday. I have nothing new to tell you right now. And besides, I do not have time to do the preparations in honor of Shabbos, and because the deliverer of this letter is in a hurry. May God guide me safely on the straight and true path. May we merit at least from now on to depart from the defilement of Egypt, which includes all other exiles, and in particular the exile of the soul. Thus may each one of us merit to purify himself of bad thoughts and extraneous confused ideas, and at all times to bind his thoughts with all his might to the Torah and to God. For no matter how each person's thoughts wander off in confusion, they are nonetheless in his control at all times. Everything depends on one's thoughts being holy, since everything is refined on the level of thought, and this applies to every single Jew. There's a very great deal to discuss with you about this, but there is not enough time, nor is there space on the page. The main thing is that all my words should have a positive effect on you, and not the opposite, God forbid. They should not increase your downheartedness, God forbid, but on the contrary, they should bring you to fortify yourself, to be happy with all your might. For we already know that the Rebbe said that sadness is extremely harmful in the area of confusing and evil thoughts. God forbid. We must turn grief and sighing into happiness and joy. Nanach, nachman, meuman, the words of your Father waiting for salvation. Nelson of Breslev. Nach, nachman, nachman. Wednesday, the 26th day of the Temple of Breslev.